Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Hey, welcome back, everybody. It is spring. We're feeling kind of fresh in some regards. Maybe we're looking to change our work and living spaces. What is trendy right now in design? We're going to find out. She's got her finger on the pulse of all of that. She works with so many in so many different ways, changing things up, making life better. I just love her fresh outlook on everything. Marcia Moore is back with us, interior designer. Welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great, even though it's a dreary day here in St. Louis.
You know, from your window where the light is coming in, you could tell me it's sunny and beautiful. I was like, oh, great. I feel good for you. Can't even tell. Yeah. But you know what? Light is one of those things. Well, why don't we even start right there in terms of light? My bedroom, I love it. Favorite room in the house because it's got a lot of light. It's got this big window. Just for me, I need light. Feels good.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something that's big in trends now? Does it come and go? Is it something that's always there? Where do we center on light?
Lighting really is something that always is there. The really interesting thing about lighting now is with the inception of LED lighting, it totally changed the lighting world. It changed everything about how we think of lighting, how the kind of lamps and chandeliers that they can produce. It just is a game changer for the lighting world.
I remember when it first came out, Philips started. They were the first big company to really kick it in, and it was kind of expensive. So I'd be very careful about what I was, doing in terms of adding that light. But now there are so many different manufacturers, and they pretty much all do the same thing. And so great that you can control it on an app. What are you seeing in terms of LEDs, where people are putting them, where it just kind of stands out, it works in a design?
We aren't using anything but in residential design. It's everything I put into a home is an LED light. Either it's got an integrated LED fixture as part of the light, or we're buying LED bulbs. I don't use anything else.
Gotcha. Even putting an LED light strip behind your TV kind of just makes it pop out. And there's so much control on your phone. I mean, for years, you're able to change the color, and literally any color you can have in terms of intensity as well, timing and all of that. So let's pivot over from light and lighting to colors. Hearing brown is big now. What's going on?
Yeah, brown is the new black. It's the new neutral. It's a much softer color than black. It can, if you think of, would you ever want to create an entire black room where your walls are black, your ceiling's black, lots of black everywhere? You probably wouldn't want to do that. It's a little too goth for most people. Mm-hmm. But brown is a great cocoon of color for an entire room. Color drenching is a term that's being used now, where you use the same color all over, like on your ceilings and your walls and on your floor. So brown is the perfect color for that. It goes with everything, and it's warm and inviting and very earthy.
We don't have samples here of that, but when we talk about brown, what are we talking about? Give me some baselines here, because I'm just picturing brown. That's okay. And I could show something brown here. I could even do a screen share. It's going to look different on everybody's monitor anyway. Mm-hmm. So What do we mean by brown?
So to me, the browns that are really in are the deeper browns, like a chocolate brown. There is a Sherwin-Williams has a brown called, what is it? I know I've got it here somewhere. Vineyard, which has got red undertones to it. So it's like a red brown. You can have a yellow brown. You can have, there's all kinds of different browns. But the nice thing about brown has yellow in it automatically, which makes it warm and inviting, as opposed to a cool brown would be like a taupe, where it's got gray in it, as opposed to a warm brown would have yellow or red in it. Makes it very inviting.
The whole color thing, you lose me on that. I wish I had the aptitude, and I love graphics. I love to paint, all of that. Mm-hmm. But remembering what tones are in there, that's where I get lost. Now, if you talk about a yellow being in a certain brown, does that mean that we can pull that yellow out and use it as a complementary color, pillows, things like that?
Yes, you certainly could. Or you could use the opposite of yellow, which is adding in some greens, or purple would be a
Hmm.
good opposite for
Gotcha.
that.
Okay. Yeah. So I have the deeper browns, but mixed with other colors. Uh, the red, the wine that you said that yeah,
Mhm,
vineyard, whatever it was. I got a visual. I saw it in my mind with
mhm.
that. And yeah, it's a nice, kind of rich, nice, rich kind of color to it. Open floor plans. Been big. I don't know, 10 years plus. I'm not even sure.
Yeah.
Long time. Is it still big?
It's still big, but people are starting to trend towards more confined spaces. I think COVID had something to do with that. When you're home with your kids 24/7 for 3 or 4 months, and they don't have any place to get away except their bedroom, everything else is open. That got to be a little much for a lot of people. And if you're trying to work from home and have kids around, it was a nightmare. So we're seeing a lot more defined spaces now. I don't think we'll ever get totally away from open floor plans because for entertaining, it's awesome where you don't have tiny little rooms, you just have a big open space. But to have more defined spaces for a lot of other areas of your life is becoming very popular.
How do we do a better job at defining those spaces?
I think it depends on what your lifestyle is. Personally, I have, excuse me, I like doing dinner parties. So I have a dining room where a lot of people don't want a dining room. Their kitchen table is fine for them, but I want that separate dining room. So that's a big defined space for me. Then I have a little room that used to be the dining room, which was really tiny, but I turned it into my TV room. That's where I hang out at night,
Hmm.
relax, watch TV, cocoon myself in that little room. That's where I'm going to put that vineyard brown all over the walls.
Yeah.
And then, I have one bedroom that I use as a home office. I have another bedroom that I use as a workout room. And then there's a guest room. So, it all depends on what your lifestyle is.
When we define those rooms, and I totally got you with the dining room, when was the last time, aside from major holidays, that we're in a dining room in a house? It almost never takes place. Kitchen table usually is it, assuming it's an eating kitchen. Would you take that dining room and let's say you wanted to make it, you have your living room, maybe that's your media room, that's where we watch movies. That dining room, would you now where we were talking about open concept, now would you change it up and would you close it off so that if you wanted to use it for something else, for other kids in there, make that the playroom and make it quiet. So I'm going to put doors. Is that something that we would do now?
You certainly could. Again, it depends on your lifestyle. That could be, you could have a desk set up where you can close the doors to the desk and it can be your office during the day. And
Hmm.
then you close those doors and it's a dining room at night. Or it could be the kids' playroom. And then there are tables now that expand, not just with two leaves, but where you can take it. It starts out as a console table and expands to seat 12 people. So you can have that kind of furniture which can be used as a dining room when you need it and fold it up into a tiny little table when you don't.
I have one. It's amazing and I love it.
Yeah, they
It's
are amazing.
um it folds down, and if you want more people, it folds up. But I think the coolest thing is, and it's a brown tone, like a darker brown, but it's got 4 or 5 stools that you can push underneath it. So it takes up no space. And the fabric on the stools is, I believe, Samsonite. I'm trying to think of what brand, but it's a higher quality brand of fabric, so it's more durable. That being said, let's talk about fabrics. What's going on? What's trending right now?
So this is one of the big pleasures of the designer's life right now. Fabrics have become, the performance fabrics are huge now. It used to be if you wanted something that could stand up to babies spitting up on them or kids spilling their drinks or glasses of wine, you would have to use an outdoor fabric. And they all looked like outdoor fabrics. Now, performance fabrics are just like everything else. They are incredibly popular. I have some here to show you if you
Oh,
would
cool.
like. I have, this is an outdoor fabric that I'm using on bar stools inside.
Oh, nice.
Totally polyester where you can wash it, you can hose it down. This is another outdoor fabric that I'm using on a rocking chair, an antique rocking chair that we are remodeled or recovering and painting a funky color. And this one is not considered an outdoor fabric, it's a performance fabric. I'm using this on dining room
Hmm.
chairs. So there's some nice brown tones in this, huh?
You said it before I got to it. Everything you showed had brown tones to it. Why is it performance? Is it just that it's durable? If somebody spills something on it, it's easy to wash off.
Yeah, these are made with things like polyester, polypropylene, olefin, the kind of things that you use outdoor that can stand up to sunlight, can stand up to rain, can stand up to any kind of product, like wine or anything. And you
Hmm.
can just wash them off with soap and water. And they are the only thing that they haven't come up with yet, which I swear whoever comes up with this will make a fortune. It's a fabric that is impervious to cat claws. I need that in my house.
Stop. Stop. We this podcast stops. Hard stop right here. I am dealing with that, and my couch is only a year and a half old. It
Hmm.
looks like it's 10 to 15 years old
Yeah.
at this point.
Yep.
Um,
And
and
we all put up with it because we love our cats.
I'm almost embarrassed, and I have, do more entertaining when the weather gets warmer. I'm almost in, and by the way, I live near a concert venue and I work in media and radio and I get tickets. So I'm planning on having people coming over. I'm afraid to even show them my couch and that whole area for what has become a 15, 2000, $3,000 scratching post.
Hmm.
I spray essential oils. I go get the recipe online. It's the same thing you buy in the store, but I amp it up with even more essential oils and
Hmm.
they still go at it.
Don't go at it. Yeah.
Is there any hope for us cat lovers?
Now, yeah, this kind of fabric is very, very tightly woven. There isn't any fabric that a cat, if they really try hard enough, can't get their claws into. But if we work on these with some of these performance fabrics, because they're used outdoors too, they're much sturdier and harder to get claws into. And then there's some other products that you can put over that, like there's plastic that you can put on top of that area that they scratch, but those are kind of unsightly.
Mm-hmm. And I even looked at slip covers, and I have a Chase Lounge connected to this piece of furniture. You can't find anything. It's going to be like custom. I might as well just buy new stuff than try and have something made.
Right.
Final question on that: any kind of repellents, something sprayed, nothing that would ever hurt a cat. Have you ever tried that? Any luck whatsoever?
I have tried numerous things and none of them really worked.
Okay. Well, thank you. Thank you for all of that because I really thought it was me.
No,
Uh,
cats are cats.
yeah. All right. And my bad because when I bought this furniture, I wasn't thinking of cats. They're only like a year and a half old, two of
Mhm.
them. Um, I didn't look at the fabric. And to your point, when you say it's tightly woven, I get it. I see it in my mind, and I see how it would be hard for claws to get in that. What I have now is, cat could go like this
Mhm.
and pull a bunch of fibers like that. Not even trying, just even accidentally. So,
Yep.
okay, we learned something. We're learning a lot today. When we talk about the outdoor fabric, I want to focus on that for just a minute when it's intended for even outdoor use. Sunbrella, big name. They're not all made the same, as I learned. Even though it has the name on there, there are different grades or degrees of that type of fabric in terms of color fast sun and all of that. Anything that you could share with that?
So fabrics and everything else in the design world is no different than buying a car. You can buy a Mercedes that's the low end Mercedes or the highest end Mercedes and everything in between. So it's the same with fabrics. Everybody has their price conscious line, and then they have their very high end line. So that's one thing that a designer can help with is this a really good fabric for this installation, or is it not going to hold up?
Gotcha. So I'd say it comes down to the quintessential, you get what you pay for.
Right.
Gotcha. Yep. Other trends, what are we missing here? What's pretty big now? What's on your radar?
Color is a huge trend right now. After years and years and years of nothing but gray, we are finally getting back to color, which I love. Color being used everywhere, lots of different colors in a room, or just one color in a room. It doesn't matter. It's just it's big, and that doesn't matter what color you like. You can use it.
When we talk about the word trend, sometimes that scares people into thinking, well, if I go with the trend, I only get a couple of years and then it's out. Mm-hmm. What are your thoughts on that?
I always caution my clients when let's take gray as an example. It's been a trend for probably 10 years now. And people would say, oh, I really want to do gray. I want to do a gray floor. I want to do gray couch. I want to put gray on the walls. And I say, gray is a trend. You have to use it sparingly and add other things in so that eventually when it goes away, you can get rid of it easily. So paint your walls gray. You can change that out. Don't buy a $10,000 sofa that's only gray. That's harder to get rid of. When you're putting down your tile floor, don't do just solid gray. Do something that looks like stone, where it's got gray and beige and white and brown in it, like a mix of colors. No matter what's in style, that floor is not going to go out of style. So trends to me are just to be used cautiously.
Okay. Kitchen. What's big now? What colors are big? There was a time where bright white was in. Yeah. There was a time where it was dark, where let's call it like dark cherry wood and black granite was big. Where are we at right now?
So we're getting away from total white kitchens. I don't think we'll ever totally get away from white. White's a great kitchen color, but mixing other things with it, like having an island that's a different color, is an easy way to untrend your totally white kitchen, painting the island navy blue or a wood tone. But we're definitely getting back to wood colored cabinets. Light woods are very in. Walnut is I love walnut. I've always loved walnut. I will always love walnut. It's just a great, rich tone.
Mm-hmm. And not too dark and not too light.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. That's it. When dark is in or light is in, you need a lot of middle to balance those out, because that's what's not going to go out of style, is the middle.
The things you learn along the way, like that black granite, it shows everything.
Yeah, just like a black car.
Whoever thought that was a good idea? Let's put black granite looking tile down and then do a countertop. What a great idea! No, mm-hmm. Especially if you have cats. Oh my gosh, you see every single hair. I don't know what people think of when they. Well, you know what? Because they don't hire designers. They just
and black granite was one of the cheap granites, so it was very easy to sell because it was inexpensive. In the world of granite, it was inexpensive. So
I was not aware of that, and that makes a lot of sense. And the perception is the reality. We think dark, rich, it's pricey. Mm-hmm. I would have never known that. Wow. Okay. Looking at those fabric samples, there's a lot of brown there. Do you feel if somebody were to pivot over, and I love the performance fabrics, fantastic. That is so my thing, where you buy it and it lasts. If you're buying those kind of tones, how do you make that last longer?
So anytime you are buying anything that is a trend, you have to mix it with other things. You could have a brown sofa and then have, let's say today you love pink and orange. So do pillows in pink and orange. When you're sick of that, do pillows in teal and aqua. Everything goes with brown or black. You can just mix anything with it. So it's easy to add other things in that are not trendy.
Okay. How about flooring right now?
Flooring is hardwoods. have always been the ultimate in flooring and probably always will. They are warm and wonderful. There's a lot of wonderful things about hardwood floors. What one of the things that I don't like as much is all the engineered hardwoods, which are they take a hardwood like a veneer of hardwood and attach it to an underlayment that makes it very solid, but you can never refinish the cheaper brands of those. The really good quality brands, you might be able to refinish it once, where hardwood you can refinish 3 times before you've worn it away too much. So you get a lot of trendy looks in that engineered hardwood or in a laminate floor. Think of Pergo was the original laminate floor. None of those are going to last as long. None of them are. You have to buy the quality. You have to buy the the look that is going to last forever, not the trend for that kind of. Don't buy a trendy floor. It's expensive to replace. Use your trend, like in paint, pillows, accessories, that kind of stuff where you can easily get rid of it.
The gray hardwood floors, whether they're laminates, Pergo, whatever it might be, is that in?
Not anymore. There's no gray that's in anymore. We're getting rid of gray.
Don't come to my place.
So the gray that was in for a long time was a cool gray. Think of light blue is a cool color. So it
Totally.
Cool, icy.
Yep.
Then we gravitated towards warm grays, which would have red or yellow tones in them. So
Okay.
those at least were warmer and more, I don't know, user friendly to me than the cool stuff. And then we kind of got to taupe. Now we're getting into, everything else. No more gray. Don't put any gray in your house. If you're starting now, don't go with gray.
Time to hire Marcia. Is it this what sounds like with flooring? We're going to or back to traditional hardwood real floors. That's what it sounds like.
That's what I would like everybody to go back to.
Okay.
And there's a lot of range there. It doesn't have to just be traditional red oak, which is what 90% of the homes in my area have in them. If you go to white oak as opposed to red oak, you get a totally different floor, much lighter and not all the red tones in it. There's a whole lot of other woods that you can do. You can do a different size plank. You can mix sizes of planks. So there's a lot of things you can do to spiff up that traditional hardwood floor, but you've still got the warmth and the longevity of real wood.
Final question here today. Carpeting, yes or no?
Carpeting has its place. It definitely has its place. I like carpets in bedrooms because it's a noise reducer, and the more fabric kind of things you have in a room, the less noise you'll get. Hardwood is a solid surface, so that doesn't reduce noise. And it's much nicer to get up onto carpet in a bedroom. There are other rooms where it makes sense, but for the most part, that's where I use carpet is in bedrooms.
Final question on all of this, since we're on carpeting. Have a friend that just installed some for, I guess, durability, Berbers. Still a thing if it fits, if it works.
So it's not called Berbers anymore. When you think of Berbers, that's what it was called, 10, 20 years ago. Yeah, I'm putting a really, really cool carpet in. See that? This is what it would have been called a Berber before. It's got lots of loops to it. So it's not good for cats. Cats can get their claws in there and rip it right up.
Gotcha.
But it's really soft and very durable, and it's going in a master bedroom. So.
What do you call it? Not a Berber. It's
I don't know what you call it. It's not a Berber anymore.
But we know what we're talking about. The more lower pile, loopy kind of carpeting that is durable. Yeah. Great talking with you. Love your finger on the pulse of all of this, and you make design exciting.
It is exciting. I love it.
Yeah.
Never get too much of it.
Marcia, how do we find you?
My phone, 314-395-1114 or marciamoredesign.com.
And Marcia spelled M-A-R.
M-A-R-C-I-A. Yep. But you can find me even if you spell it M-A-R-S-H-A. I have that web they both go to the same place.
I have to say it. I'm sure you've heard it 15 billion times in your life. Marcia, Marcia, Marcia.
Marcia, Marcia, Marcia. I used to have embroidered pillows on my bed that said Marcia, Marcia, Marcia.
Embrace it. Did she
Never
spell
ending.
it? How did they spell it on the
Spelled
Brady
it the
Bunch?
same way. Yeah.
That's right. Now that I'm thinking about that. Well, well, they were on target. Great having you here. Looking forward next time we talk.
Yeah, me too. Thanks.
Thank you. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.